And girls, I'm back to read Chapter 4 of Junie B. Jones' Cheater Pants. Chapter 4, Cheater Pants. It's still Monday. Dear First Grade Journal, right now it is recess. I am not playing on the playground. Instead, I am sitting at my desk and I'm waiting to get yelled at. I wish I could disappear into thin air. If I could disappear, I would run outside and I would find May and I would clunk her on the head. I wish I didn't even sit next to that girl, because people should never, ever leave homework on their desk for other people to borrow. This is just asking for trouble, mister. From Junie B., first grader. Mr. Scary was writing at his desk. He looked up and called my name. Junie B., he said, I'm ready for you now. Could you bring your chair up here, please? My stomach flipped and flopped, because here comes the yelling part. That's why. I did some deep breaths. And then I pulled my chair up to the front of the room, and I sat down next to him. Mr. Scary took my homework paper out of his drawer, and he set it in front of me very serious. I want you to explain this, Junie B. I want you to tell me exactly why you copied May's homework this morning. I tried to swallow, but nothing went down. Well, let's see. The reason I copied was I tapped on my chin. Then all of a sudden, I thought of it. Daddy, I said. It was my daddy's fault. My teacher looked surprised at that answer. Your daddy? Your daddy told you to copy May's homework? Yes, I said. No. Last night I wanted to stay up late to do my homework, but my daddy turned out my light, and that's the reason I had to come to school without it. Oh, I see, said my teacher. Your daddy won't let you stay up, so that's what forced you to copy May's paper. I nodded real fast. Yes. That's exactly it. Mr. Scary raised his eyebrow. So did May actually give you her paper to copy? He asked next. I rolled my eyes at that silly question. No, May would never be that nice. I said, it's just that this morning she kept bragging how her homework was always A+, and she left it on top of her desk when she went to the office, so she was asking for trouble, mister. Mr. Scary leaned back in his chair. Ah, so when May left for the office, you saw her paper and you just decided to borrow it, I said. I decided to borrow it to copy. Mr. Scary did a frown. Borrow. He said, no, Junie B., I'm sorry, but borrow is not the right word here at all. When you copy someone else's paper, that's called cheating. My eyes got big and shocked at that word, because what was he even talking about? No, Mr. Scary. No, I didn't cheat. I did it. Cheating is when you steal the answers off someone's test. But homework isn't a test. Homework doesn't even count hardly. Oh, but homework does count, Junie B., he said back. Cheating is not just about stealing answers. Cheating is any time you take someone else's work and you present it as your own. He looked at me. When you cheated this morning, you broke my trust in you, Junie B., he said. We have a rule about this in room 1. We keep our eyes on our own paper. You've heard me say that 100 times, I bet. Here's Mr. Scary talking to Junie B. Look at his face. He does look like he's very disappointed in what Junie B. has done. I felt surprised at that information. That's a rule? I said, no kidding. I always thought it was like, a suggestion. Mr. Scary rolled his eyes. No, Junie B., it's not a suggestion. It's definitely a rule. And it's an important rule. I drummed my fingers on the desk. Well, I'll be darned, I said. After a while, I did a deep breath. I'm sorry, I said real soft. Mr. Scary smiled a little bit. I'm sorry too, Junie B., he said, but at least now I think we understand each other better. I will not put up with any cheaters in my class. I did it once. Yeah, only I wish you wouldn't keep saying that cheater word, I said, because I didn't actually know I was cheating hardly. Plus, I don't like cheaters either, Mr. Scary. On account of my daddy cheated me at Old Maid last week. That's a card game. And I'm still not over that terrible experience. Mr. Scary wrinkled his eyebrows. Your daddy cheated, he said. I did a sigh. Yes, Daddy raised the Old Maid way high in his hand so I would pick her. And then I did it. And so what kind of sneaky trick was that? Mr. Scary covered his mouth. He was shocked, I believe. I leaned closer to him. And Daddy is not the only cheater pants in my family either, I said, very quiet. On account of my grandpa, Frank Miller, is supposed to be on a diet, but Grandma found an empty pie pan in his closet. And all was left was a little bit of crust and a plastic fork. I thought for a second. No wonder I cheated. Cheating's in my blood, apparently, I said. Mr. Scary did a chuckle. Well, nobody's perfect, he said. Everyone cheats on a diet once in a while, I think. But cheating at school is a very different matter, Junie. Cheating at school is very serious business. Are we clear on that now? I nodded real fast. Clear, I said. After that, both of us shook hands, and Mr. Scary carried my chair back to my desk. After I sat down, he took out an envelope out of his pocket, and he handed it to me. I wrote a note to your parents explaining what happened this morning, he said. I would like them to read it and sign it, okay? You can bring it back to me tomorrow. I did a gasp at that thing. No, Mr. Scary, not okay, I said. Please don't make me take a note home. Please, please, I really don't want to take a note home. Mr. Scary thought for a second. Then he took the note back. Well, okay, he said. If you feel that strongly, I won't make you take it. He started walking back to his desk. I'll just call him tonight instead, he said. I did a loud groan, because what kind of dumb choice was that? I stomped to his desk and grabbed back the note, and I stuffed it in my backpack, and I sat down at my desk, and I wrote in my journal one more time, Mr. Scary is a tattletale. There's Junie B shoving that note back in her backpack. She's not very happy about Mr. Scary sending a note home to her mom and dad, but do you think that he should? I mean, she did cheat, and cheating's against the rules. So just to give you some thoughts about that. Well, I love you all so much, sending big virtual hugs, and I'll see you real soon.